Hello, hello, my loves. This is Bfab, your host and your online bestie. And today we are going to be talking about how much of a yes girly you are. If you are, of course. And of course, if you're a girl. If not, then boy. Anyway, whatever your pronouns are, let's talk about it. I want to share that there is power in saying no, and why saying no is actually a form of self love and self care. And I'm also gonna share from what I've researched and learned and experienced throughout the past as well as a former yes girly. Ano yung mga why we say yes kahit gusto naman talaga nating mag-no and kung ano yung science and psychological aspect to it. So with this, let me ask you, when was the last time you said yes kahit ayaw nyo naman talaga? Was it a late night hangout or meron bang at 1 a.m. tumawag just to vent out all of a sudden without asking if you have space for it? Or just saying yes to a trip because FOMO? Or saying yes just because you don't know how to say no? Or saying no feels like you're offending people? Or saying no feels like you're not supporting people or like being available for people or you're not being a good friend or whatever? So, guys, before I officially start, I just want to say that saying no is not a rejection. It's a redirection. And with that, when you say no to whatever drains you, you are saying yes to yourself. And that's the most important part. And that's actually the only important part. Like you first, guys. So guys, actually I was a former yes girly as I've shared earlier. Those things na sinabi ko kanina, those were actually some experiences of mine. And I thought for a time that I had to say yes because I'm being a good friend. I want to be here with you all throughout and I just want to be there 2 to 4 a.m. with you. Okay, gusto mo sunduin ka at 3 a.m. even if I have work. Okay, I'll do that because I'm a good friend. Or gusto mong pautangin kita ng 10K even if medyo kapos din ako just because I'm a good friend. Okay, I'll give it to you even if medyo ano on my part kasi nga I'm also struggling. Okay, so I said yes to a certain date. And then on that day naman biglang nagkasakit ako. But of course since I said yes already, kailangang i-follow through ko and I can't reschedule anymore. So if you're like that before, I was also like that before. So bakit pa tayo yes ng yes to every gala, every aya, everything na ayaw naman talaga natin? Or kung hindi naman everything, if that's a stretch, then maybe 90% of everything. Why are we overcommitting, giving our time to everyone and anyone except ourselves, right? Every time we say yes, we get a little dopamine hit. Our brain likes it, and then our mind likes it, and meron siyang pagka-feel good. Especially in our younger years, right? If we say yes, then we're good children, and especially for women, bata pa lang tayo, we were kind of conditioned to be agreeable all the time because being agreeable, saying yes, being go lang ng go makes you kind, makes you easygoing, and that makes you a good friend or a person, and that makes you easy to be with. And so with that, unconsciously also makes us become people pleasers in the long run without us knowing. We are overcommitting, giving ourselves, spreading ourselves too thin. They realize na parang, bakit parang ubos na ako? And bakit parang I'm doing so much for work, for people, for friends and everyone else, but I feel like may kulang sa akin? Or maybe bakit parang merong may kulang sa life? Or it doesn't feel aligned with you? But the problem with that is every time we say yes, kahit hindi naman natin gusto, we say yes because we feel guilty instead of saying yes because, we like it or it's with intention. We kind of reinforce the idea in our brain that when we say yes, you are good. So our worth now is being tied up to being needed, to saying yes and all that. And of course, that's not healthy. That's not nice. It doesn't feel good. It can really be exhausting. And I'm not surprised if you get burned out in that journey. So ngayon, let us unpack that because if saying no to those things that drain you, people that drain you, means saying yes to more quality time with you, more self-care with you, then that is already self-love. And that's just really honoring yourself as well. When you say no because you genuinely feel like saying no, you don't even have to explain. But if you want, you could, but you don't have to over-explain because honestly, TikTok people say it, Twitter people say it. We don't owe anyone any explanation, right? Ako naman, to a certain extent, I think it's just respect lang din na parang when you say no, nice din sana na sabihin mo na no because you don't feel good and that's it. Hindi na kailangan, sorry talaga kasi di ako makapunta kasi ganito, ganito, ganyan. Let's just not over explain and overcomplicate things. Let's say no because you feel like this and that's it. Or you say no because you have prior apartment if you don't want to over explain and everything. I think little white lies doesn't hurt if ayaw mo talaga, wala ka talaga sa mood. But overall, you can do that. Just don't over explain. And now for being in the in betweens, from being a yes girly to a person who says no. When you start saying no, it might feel awkward at first. It might feel like, oh shucks, baka hindi na ako ma-invite because I said no. Or maybe people would think that I'm rude because I said no. Or maybe because I said no, people would think that I'm no longer nice. I'm not nice to be with. I'm not easygoing anymore and all that. And that may be scary. I just want you to know, guys, that real friends, real people, real community, real sisterhood, brotherhood, and all that will respect your boundaries. Hindi siguro sila sanay pa at first, right? Kasi this is a new you. O, di ka na yes, girly. You actually prioritize now. You make time for what truly matters for yourself. You honor yourself. You actually go to your self-care bookings and appointments now. You actually make time now more for your family, for your dogs, for everything else, for your hobbies, for you leveling up your skills, right? So you no longer say yes to anything and everything else. And boundaries is really important, guys. And let's say gusto mo talagang matulog na yet your friend wants to talk with you 2 a.m. in the morning. Maybe she's a VA like me or whatever, right? But you can really just say na, hello, it's 2 a.m. and I don't have bandwidth for this, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. I can make time if you are still available. You can do that naman. You can say naman na you're just not available that time and that's okay. And sometimes kasi all the anxiousness is just all in our heads and it's sometimes bigger pa in our heads, but when we say it and when we converse, hindi naman talaga siya big deal. And sometimes papangunahan lang tayo ng guilt and maybe shame as well, and ang people pleasing tendencies, because the social media world has kind of compelled us unconsciously and consciously to be a yes girl because hindi sanay ang people with the word no. Because saying no means parang, hala, parang meron siyang own boundaries. And sometimes boundaries can be scary to some. Kasi then hindi ka na nila mapupush over. That's one side of it. And so with having boundaries, you will also know who's gonna be there for you and who will respect you. And I think that's a win. And no, that is a win. Having people who knows your boundaries and loves you more for that. Kasi ako, honestly, I love people with boundaries. I love it when friends say na, oh, I don't have bandwidth for this topic today. How about next weekend we talk about it over coffee? Ganyan. I love it because then I know. And then, ang nice kasi, if you have boundaries and if you finally stop overcommitting and just really saying, being direct about the communication and what you want, what's nice about it is you then get to know how to be a good friend or how to be a good partner to your partner or friends. Kasi alam mo kasi you'd know how to because you'd know how to honor them. Okay, her boundaries, ayaw niyang chinachat pag over 12 a.m. Okay, ang boundaries niya, ayaw niya sinasabihan ng ganito or ayaw niyang naaya ng samgyup at 1 a.m. kasi mag-yes siya. So, kind of like that, we have to take ownership for our lives and we have to be accountable to our lives because, it's our own life. And so, with that, if you say yes to a lot of things and then if you assess di pala nagmamatter masyado yung things na yun, you just really said yes just because you have fears and guilt, then that's not really honoring yourself. And ang sad part about all this is you realize later part na when you're kind of already crashing down or you're like in the burnout stage already na parang, oh shucks, but ako yes nang yes, didn't even wanna go there, I didn't even wanna be there, I didn't even want to stay awake for that. I wanted to sleep, I wanted to walk or run, or I wanted to enroll to this class and all that. But the good thing about all this is we have the power, like through your actions and through your voice, through your small choices, you have the power to turn that around. But it really has to start with you. And though saying no might feel awkward at first, you just have to get really comfortable at it. Honestly, ako before I really practice, parang no. Sometimes I treat it as a joke when my friends say, tara ganito tayo, I say no. And then just like take a pause and I look at them. And until it's natural for me to say no when I don't like it. And honestly, I'm kind of unapologetic about it because I want people to see that I have boundaries. I want them to see that my time is important. And so, yeah, when I don't want, of course, I'm not perfect. Sometimes meron pa rin namang mga 10% wanting to say yes because I wanted to be a good friend and all that. And, it's a work in progress, but I've come a long way, guys. When I don't feel like it, I really say na, oh, I have a prior appointment at 2 p.m. I wish I've known this sooner so I can adjust. But since medyo late na, how about this time? So ganon. And honestly, for me, it really helps friendships, relationships a lot. May it be work, business, relationship with friends, family, and all that. Boundaries will help you. But of course, you always have to, convey it in a nice way naman. The tone and messaging matters pa rin naman, guys. Ako, I'm bubbly and playful by nature. And so I say, no, I'm so sorry. But like, no. No, I'm not available. No, I can't do that right now, but I can do that in the next 2 days at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So, I'm like that. Para hindi naman nila ma-feel na super rejected sila. I give them options na ganito, 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 ganyan. So, that's been what I'm doing and so far it's working on my end. And, ganun na talaga. You guys meet halfway. And if ayaw naman nilang mag-meet halfway, then that also tells us something, right? Bakit ikaw lang yung willing mag-meet halfway? So I want you to know that saying no, saying yes intentionally, having boundaries, you get to choose who to let in your life, who or what to let in your life. And that is so freaking powerful, guys. You get to choose. And guys, have you ever noticed, or if hindi nyo na notice, then please notice that the most magnetic person in the room, or at least the most charismatic or the confident one in the room, they have no problem saying no. Really. And it doesn't, and again, you don't have to over explain, you don't have to overcommit. And you're just, being in your energy, knowing knowing your worth and your time and what's your priority, and saying no to the things that really doesn't align or doesn't matter with you anymore, and saying yes to things that does. Saying yes to things that's honoring you, right? And I'm not saying to say no to everything. Hindi naman ganon. But I'm adjusting for the people who doesn't know how to say no. I'm just saying na okay lang mag-no. For me, saying the people who say no are very, very attractive and sexy. Like, wow, she knows her schedule. Wow, she knows as ano yung ipaprioritize niya. And wow, like the audacity to say no. Like, love, 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 love. I have a friend back in college, and this woman, Gabe, I am so inspired by her up to now. Like, but that's for another story. Pero itong specific na scenario, tapos na yung exams namin, and then we were out to, get drunk. Kasi nga, yun nga, di ba? Like, tapos na ang exams. So, it's time to party, party, and celebrate. And so, she said she's gonna study, and she said no. And this woman, party goer kasi to. Buti sana kung lagi tong hindi nasa inuman. But she loves to party. She's a party animal. And she loves to drink and she loves to have fun. And I love that about her. But I also love the fact that she really knows her priorities. Kasi meron siyang other subject, if I'm not mistaken. And for me naman, ako, sa personality ko, okay na ako na within the day siyang studyhan. But she's just gonna study because she's gonna work out pa after. Like, wow. So like, she said no. No, hindi mo na ako pupunta. No, guys, I'm just gonna pass this one up kasi I'll study pa and then I'll work out after. Or like, she's gonna work out in the morning pa. And so she doesn't want to have the hangover or just even, makuha yung time niya. So para makastudy pa siya and like plot her day and all that. Parang for me, wow. And we were what, like second year? No na time? Or maybe fourth year college? I don't know. But I remember specifically that conversation kasi. And like for me, parang, wow, everyone was going, even yung mga hindi umiinom just cause, FOMO and madami nga kaming pupunta doon. But she didn't. And for me, that was so inspiring. And to have that kind of discipline with yourself, to say no because it's not gonna serve you. So, right? Right. Is it just me? But honestly, oh my gosh, up to now, by the way, she is a lawyer already. Look what that discipline got to her. And alam nyo, segue ko lang talaga na even when she was taking up law classes, she was still working out every day. Like, it was already part of her routine. And like, wow, na-amaze ako kasi, ayun nga, it's become her habit so much so that it's not normal for her not to work out. And that's on having boundaries, everyone. She knows her boundaries with herself, and that is sexy. It makes you confident, it makes you attractive, and like may ginagawa ka sa life mo. So, guys, to go back, saying no is very attractive. It shows that you have self-respect sa sarili mo. And that's really powerful. And you don't over explain, over apologize for your boundaries. That is sexy. And with that, you radiate that confidence, that oomph. Ever wonder why may ibang people na parang may it factor lang regardless if they are pretty or not in society standards? It's because they carry that kind of confidence within themselves. It's also energy kasi. So like saying no is also like decluttering your energy. You create space for what you want in your life, and you create space for what you want to say yes to. And so guys, I'm a spiritual girly, so meron talaga mga energy aspect into this. And so with that, so when you protect your energy, you create space for yourself. You vibrate higher. And when you vibrate higher, a lot of good things are coming your way. You feel good, you look good, and everything flows. And ang bonus niyan, you feel a lot lighter, you attract a lot of opportunities and abundance coming your way, and you're just being yourself. And you carry yourself with so much grace and confidence. And so, ayun lang. Let me also like share an example. So, let's say, for example, you said yes to a gala because baka mafo-FOMO ka or fear of missing out. And then your supposed plan was to go work out and then, probably read a book or what. And then, so syempre, you said yes to the gala, so go. And then you ended up, hungover, nabawasan pa yung pera mo kasi may amot. Then third, probably tinamad ka na pagka tomorrow, so you didn't do your routines and all that. And, the list goes on. But if you honor yourself and you have self-respect to follow through what you say, and this is also para din to sa akin kasi sometimes din I say na magwo-walking ako, but naka-aircon ako sa bed, and so hindi na ako umalis. And it's a work in progress in the in-betweens, but also I'm also just sharing this with you here para sabay-sabay tayong mag-grow, sabay-sabay tayong mag-learn. Going back, you see the ripple effect of just like abandoning yourself for a while, not honoring what you want, right? Kasi the list goes on. So if wala and hindi mo na-follow yung routines mo, then if hindi mo na-follow, minsan pag ganun, yung ibang people wala sa mood. If wala ka sa mood, minsan bad trip ka, and then nababad trip mo yung mga kasama mo, and the list goes on. And pag bad trip sila, madami na kayong hindi nasasabi, and then magsistress eating or ano ba, and then the list goes on and on. Not unless of course you like check in with yourself, like self, that's this is not slay self. Let's go back, let's go back to the routines. Let's focus ganon. But a lot of people sometimes they go on autopilot, and then they forget to check in with themselves, like, what self girl, what are you doing, what have you been doing? And that's also why, just to share, meron akong Sunday night journal which I got from Miss Aurora. She is a life coach here in the Philippines. And the journal, it's called Sunday Night Journal because every Sunday meron siyang different prompts, and there's also a check-in. The intention there was for you to create that space for yourself na, kakamustahin mo yung sarili mo. How did you take care of yourself today? What did you do this week that made you happy ba? What can you improve on? What are your wins? What are you looking forward to? What are your top 3 goals? And what are you grateful for? And all that. And meron din siyang monthly check-ins to rate yourself and to rate how you took care of yourself. Did you follow your joy or ano ba? Which is really, really nice. And to go back, a lot of people, sometimes they go through life just really going through life without stopping kasi busy sa work, sa life, sa business, and everything else. But guys, when you're busiest, that's when you need to pause. Like, you have to assess what's going on there. Why are you making yourself so fully booked? Like, I get it, but you also really have to take time to take care of yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, of course. And so, like, ask yourself, how are you taking care of yourself today or this week? What have you done to create joy for yourself just for the sake of being happy and not, checking any to-do list and goals there? And third, how is everything that you're doing moving forward to your top one or top two goals in your life? Kasi sometimes kasi we get too sidetracked sa mga lots of things that it really, if you think about it, hindi naman talaga siya align sa ating mga like goals talaga. And that is okay. But of course, you do that always and wala na tayong stop. Then we wake up one day and we're 35 and we realize na hala, I didn't check in on myself. And so, hindi ko siya na-rectify. And I have to start again. And you can always start again. But isn't it nice if you can start now? And I think that's it for today's episode. I meant for this to be just a mini-sode. I'm not sure how long this is, probably around 19 to 20 minutes. I'm not sure how long this is. If there's a message that I want to end with you, it's really honor yourself, honor what you want. The rest will follow, I swear. And you don't have to be guilty about it because you are living for yourself. Of course, merong God and everything, but like, let's just look at this right now. You say yes because you like it, not because napipilitan ka. You say no unapologetically. Because why would you apologize, right? And guys, a person who is confident in saying no and saying yes and honoring herself, prioritizing herself, her well being, and all that is a powerful person. You get to choose. And so, with this, I want to end this podcast by asking you, what are you saying no this week? And also, this week, guys, I challenge you to say no to one or two things that drains you and say yes to the things that lift you up. And please tag me or DM me. I will give you a surprise. It may be, pang coffee ba? Or makeup or maybe a book, something. Tag me and then tag what you want. I want you to say no and say share your story. You do that, notice how your body feels, notice how your mind feels. Write on it if you can, but write on it for you. So you know what it feels. And then you practice saying no. Practice it again and then practice and then suddenly know how to say no without being guilty, being shameful. And guys, even if you say yes, you're still gonna be invited. You're not rude or whatever because that's just you being yourself and honoring yourself. And if people are not okay with that, then the problem is the people. Why are you not okay with me pursuing my passions and skills or pursuing what is gonna make me healthy or make me happy, or just why are you not happy with me having boundaries, right? Right. Anywho, that's it. And if this episode hit home or helped you or resonated with you somehow, please let me know. Like, tag me. I would really appreciate it. And that's it for today's episode, guys. Remember that saying no means you have boundaries and you have self respect. And it's okay to say no. It's a full sentence. You don't have to over apologize, over explain, over commit, and whatnot. It's okay. And you can say yes to the things that make you happy, lift you up. If you have extra time, you go ahead. But again, don't say yes because you feel a little bit anxious or shameful or you feel fearful. This is your one life, guys. Hindi pwede yes ng yes to everything and everyone. You have to say yes to yourself first. So, ayun lang, and thank you so much, and bye!